Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 20. Wait, are we 28 already?
28. It says at the top 28, so I'm
I
assuming
know
it's 28.
that. I hope I haven't stuffed up again.
No, I'm relying on your ability to continually account from
Oh
week
man,
to week.
there's a very good chance that I
I
stuffed
would,
this up.
yeah,
I'm
I would have
having
just told you
major
it was like
deja vu.
episode 10 would be, yeah. I'll be way out,
Uh,
way out. What are we covering
uh,
today? I think all we're going to be talking about today is the new issue of Trojan X.
is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
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 Sorry, everyone. That's a little jab at Brad because he hasn't read it yet.
No.
Admittedly, it only
Chainsaw Man,
dropped
though.
like 4 hours ago. Yeah.
There's not really a huge amount to cover from the last week because everyone's on break, pretty much.
Yeah.
We only generally get 2 chapters for the month of January, anyway. But
That's okay.
what we have been getting, what we did receive, that works better. Is still pretty dang good.
Yeah.
There is a couple of little tidbits of news that we're going to talk about. But overall, we are going to. Whoops, I forgot what I was going to say because I closed something by accident.
That's right. That's cool. It's going to be a whole episode of crazy speculation and theories, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
because we're going to be talking a lot about Chainsaw Man, I think.
We'll save the spoilery stuff for towards the end. So if you want to get all caught up for Chainsaw Man, you can come back and join us for that later on. Yeah. Make sure you hit that like button. It really helps us out, and share these videos to your friends that you think will enjoy it, and tell them to come on for the live chats. We'll chat.
Hey, Jack.
How you doing, my man? But with that, we are going into episode 28, guys. What news do you have to cover, Logan?
Not a lot. Not a lot. It's been pretty quiet on the news front for me. I have been reading a little bit more on the internet, starting to stir a bit on the possible announcement of Battle Angel Alita 2. Starting because
sequel to a movie that we had recently.
Yeah, sequel to the Rodriguez film that was released, I want to say a couple of years ago, maybe more. No, it's got to be a couple. No, I'm so far off, aren't I?
It's 2019.
Oh, don't say that. Wow. Okay, cool. So this would have been one of the last great, special effects cinematics of its time, because after that, it all kind of went downhill, didn't it, on the special effects front?
This is where I tell you that I haven't gotten around to watching Alita.
No, I know that. Yet. I'm aware of that. It's one of those movies that I keep telling people.
I didn't realize it was 4 years ago, though.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, that list that you keep telling me about, and this is a list.
I know, man.
That keeps getting longer.
It just gets bigger and bigger.
You just never get around to it. So I was like, when they first announced this Battle Angel Alita, I was beside myself. Taking one of my favorite all-time anime/manga series that have come out over the years, and then crossing it with essentially one of my favorite action directors that have happened over the years, and smooshing them together and knowing full well that he has an absolutely mastery over digital film work and special effects. I knew it was in safe hands. And I was even better that James Cameron actually gave it up, because he knew that he wasn't going to be able to do it.
Oh, I actually didn't realize.
He tried to make it for years, but he
Yeah,
could
yeah,
never get
yeah.
it. He could never get it going. Um,
I
but
mean,
as
she
soon
still
as
does look a little doofy in the face, but apart from that,
when you watch it, it's
it's less
super
noticeable.
it's super weird because everything in the film is stylistic. So she settles
Ah,
in quite naturally. So when you see images of just her
it's just
in a
still
frame,
frames, and
you're
you're like,
just like,
ugh,
ugh, she looks kind of like a Bratz doll. What the hell?
kind of
But
alien.
yeah, but that was kind of the point. They didn't want her to look the same as all the other characters, and they wanted to make her as look as much like the original manga character as they could.
Gonna
So
tell you now though, now that I know that Robert Rodriguez directed it and not James Cameron, it's definitely moved up the list significantly.
did you not know that?
No,
Oh wow. Okay, that's sad. That's a bit sad. It's yeah, it's definitely his film, his baby that he worked on.
wow,
And man, I tell you what, when you
how
do
did I
watch
miss
it,
that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's 4 years.
When
It
you
was
watch
four
it,
years ago, and I had a bit going on.
make sure you watch the behind the scenes stuff, the making of, because it is unreal. Um, because the actor does everything. She's in all the shots, but her entire body is CG, so they reconstruct her from the
Oh,
ground up.
that's bizarre.
Yeah, especially when the actor looks a lot like the character, except minus all the stylistic finish. Um, it looks pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So,
Um,
so I'm stoked. Super
oh,
happy for
she's
them to announce
in,
it and say that it's in going. You
huh?
know, yeah,
Brand
she's
new
done.
curry flavor.
I don't know what that is.
Netflix series. Anyway,
Okay.
getting distracted.
Yeah. 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 So that's my bit of stuff that got me a bit excited. I think over the past week or two. What about
Nice.
you? What about you?
Um, the well, it's not as cool as a new movie, but
Yeah.
uh,
Sorry.
the Mr. Ichiro Oda releases art books occasionally, which are collected volume art, uh, the occasional like double spread arts that he does for the chap manga god damn the chapter title cards,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all in full color and everything. And the 10th one of that one is coming out, which is pretty exciting because the artwork is always gorgeous in it.
Tenth
Uh,
one. So you what? He releases them every
two,
100.
2 3 years.
Yeah. So every 100 chapters,
Yeah,
he'll roll
roughly.
one out.
Yeah. They got like concept
Nice.
art, other promotional art and stuff. Basically, just yeah, it's a big art book collecting all the Luffy and
Pieces.
One Piece art
Yeah.
since the last one. We haven't gotten very many of them over here in the West, even though we're not really the West.
Seriously? That's
We're
super
like South.
weird.
I know. Viz have only officially published, I think, two of them.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
So one of the world's most renowned mangas and anime,
Mhm.
and they don't release the art books. I can buy 52 Street Fighter art books.
Yep.
You see where I'm coming from there? I'm just saying that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I
I think
know.
they better pull their finger out on that one.
God,
Otherwise, we just import them.
they would be so expensive.
Nah,
Just like as an art book in and of itself, I reckon
yeah,
it'd be like,
$120.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, yeah, with
Art books
shipping.
are pretty pricey.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at something that's got like a solid 100 illustrations in it.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
that almost covers the news.
yeah.
The actual big one was the mangaka of Jujutsu Kaisen, Gege Akatami, has announced or commented in the latest weekly Shonen Jump issue. So the one that we get is coming Monday, I think. That he hopes to finish the story within the year. Sorry, well, yeah, this year.
Interesting. So we've
Yeah,
got another solid, what, 30 to 40 chapters left?
thereabouts. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, it. I didn't think we were getting so close to the end.
You know what? It'll be the end of this arc. It'll punch into something new. I think he's done enough world building here to spin off easily.
Yeah, interesting to see what comes of it.
Or
It's
maybe he's just tired of it.
it's had some really cool, maybe. I think he's tired of a lot of things at the moment. The poor bugger.
Yeah,
With everyone in his family, including his dog, getting sick. But
that's rough.
yeah, the art and the choreography of the fight scenes and just the weird concept that he's been bringing forward lately is I'm interested to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But I hope it doesn't get rushed. I hope it's a natural conclusion, or not a cancellation sort of thing. But it's pretty dang big. I don't see why it would get cancelled. I could see him wanting
Um,
to cancel it himself more so than anything
yeah.
else.
Yeah, I feel like he's the kind of guy that might get a little bit bored with just running the same series for a long time.
Maybe.
I couldn't see him sitting on it for much longer. But that's my personal opinion, isn't it? It doesn't mean much.
I mean, it's weird. Like the last, I'd say 24 months, we've barely focused on like the core cast that we usually did. They've been all split up. You maybe get a focus on one of them for like a good section, and then you don't see them for like half a year. I think it was nearly like 16 months that we didn't see Yuji.
Yeah, that was
Like the
ridiculous.
main character, like he just gone.
It just vanished.
Yeah,
And,
like we were just focusing on other shit, but
and the
yeah,
weird
it was
thing was, is that was like a cliffhanger for him.
yeah.
Left it, and then just like, oh yeah, I'll come back to that next year.
Man, I want to reread Jujutsu once it's finished in a solid
Yeah,
block. I reckon
yeah.
it would greatly uh
It'd make a lot more sense.
yeah, what's the word I was looking
Like
for?
all of these more edgy and dark series, they tend to read better once you have everything out in front of you.
Compiled, yeah.
Yeah, because the whole week to week format for these guys, I think things start to feel really loose and unusual, and sort of spitter spattered everywhere. But realistically, if you just read it back to back, it flows really well. Which is why I've been leaving jujitsu for such a long time, mainly because I sort of lost interest in it,
Yeah.
but also because you're right. I always enjoy it a lot more when I'm reading it back to back. So
That Maki arc was probably
oh,
the highlight of reading it weekly. Um,
pinnacle.
but yeah, I would agree. Most of the rest of Jujutsu does greatly. Now, I still can't remember the word that I'm after. Work better in a Tanka or barn.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, my brain is just gone to sleep. It's mashed potatoes.
I love mashed potatoes.
They're pretty good, especially except when they're
I
in your
want to
brain.
eat your brains. Cool.
Undead Unlock's going to be holding its third character popularity poll online this time.
What's with these things? Why do they hold these things? Is it just for the fun, or are they just trying to scoop some more information from the general public?
Both.
Yeah.
100% both. Because then they get the character polls back and they're like, cool, this is who we need to make merchandise of because
Yeah.
this is the statistically more profits.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
This is where it's at.
Yeah.
Man, love the corporate world, hey?
Yeah. I honestly that kind of covers. Actually, was it you that was telling me about Ayakashi Triangle?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's more of a sort of weekly thing, I guess. more
I,
so.
uh,
But
I
I mean,
I'm
kind of
hearing some
news.
mixed stuff about the anime and that it's
Yeah,
falling a bit flat for some people.
yeah. Well, it fell a bit flat for me. Um, I probably won't continue it after the first episode, which is makes me a little bit upset because I just I felt like it had a lot going for it more than just etchy shenanigans. The action sequences were actually quite good, and the world building wasn't that bad. They've got a good little system set up. She's the medium for all these yokai, and she's trying to be eaten by, or there's more powerful yokai trying to eat her to become more powerful, but all the smaller, lower end yokai love her, so they try to keep her safe. Meanwhile, he's a special yokai assassin, essentially, and all yokai are bad. So
Nin nin.
yeah, pretty much. And so it's maybe Jack. So it's a bit sad that it's fallen as flat, or maybe the studio didn't take it seriously, or someone wasn't taking it seriously like they should have. They put a lot more effort into Twin Star Exorcist. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Oh yeah, I haven't read or
Yeah.
watched that yet either. Actually,
And similar sort of feel. I'm not going to say premise because they're very different premises, but the feel is very similar where they're switching action for etchy for semi-romance kind of environment. But they actually dropped a bit more care into the animation and the world building. So
yeah,
I think we'll only get one season of this, unfortunately, even though it's still an ongoing series. I'll be
yeah.
surprised if another one runs.
I guess it depends on the overall popularity of it towards
Yeah.
the end. But if it's struggling this early on, then
Well, that's me struggling with it.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know
oh
what the
yeah, true.
internet's saying. The internet
Fair,
might be
yeah.
different.
Actually,
Uh,
has the final episode of Chainsaw Man for both dubbings finally been aired yet?
I don't know. Let me have a quick look. I haven't been watching the dub. Mm,
Yes.
yeah,
All 12, yeah,
yeah,
12 episodes.
yep,
Nice.
yeah. And the internet is split in half from the series, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, I feel like there's a crowd of people that are like, this is exactly what we wanted,
Oh,
and then there's a
yes.
crowd of people that are like, what did we just goddamn well watch?
Do it again.
Can we have more of that, but maybe more of what they said it was going to be?
Are we
And I
still talking
think,
about Chainsaw Man?
yeah, sorry.
I'm
Should we cut
confused.
to? Should we cut to the? We should cut to the weeklies. Is what we should do. Sorry,
There
because we're
is no
just sort of
weeklies.
easing. Well, there's two, three. There's three
All
weeklies.
right.
Yeah. So
Actually, I would like to just. Okay, actually, no, we'll go with the weeklies first. Go.
yeah,
Shoot. What,
yeah,
what, what,
yeah.
what do we have? We got the Dan to
Well,
Dan.
first up we had Dan to Dan, Dan
Of
to Dan,
course.
and this was peak Dan to Dan. Man, it was so good. The chapter didn't really have anything to do with anything. Nothing really happened,
No,
but
no.
it was comedic gold. Man, every
The
second
giant
page
cat was
had me
perfect.
in stitches. Oh God, the giant cat. So, people who are listening, if you haven't gotten onto Dan Dan, we say it every week. Get onto Dan to Dan. It's probably one of the best series out there. But
Yeah.
this week's shenanigans are just that, pure shenanigans.
It
Um,
was it was nice little bit of lightheartedness that we needed
After
after
the
the last couple of chapters.
the brutal smashing that they got, yeah.
Yeah, and
It was
theft
actually
of
a
a
lot more.
testicle.
It was a lot more brutal than I was expecting because they haven't gone that way for a while.
Yeah,
Um, but to have main characters stabbed in the arm and
it
others,
definitely went like full shonen
yeah,
battle manga there for a bit. It was nice. it had been a while.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, he was definitely stretching his comedic legs this week, and the spreads.
It was so
Why
dumb.
is everybody spreading this week? So that's probably not exactly how I meant it.
Phrasing.
Everybody's got spreads this week.
I still
Yeah,
haven't
but
gotten around to reading Trojan.
No, that's okay.
Marriage
Yeah,
Toxin was fantastic, though.
There's like 6 pages in Trojan X.
Really?
Because every page is a spread. So you're just getting like these massive sets of, action pieces happening. It is beautiful. So you've got some really beautiful comedic work coming over at Dan to Dan, very detailed, hilarious stuff. And then you jump over to Trojan X and you've got, these massive action spreads that are intense, dark, like the absolute reverse of Dan to Dan. But it's going like Dan to Dan. It's gone full shonen. It's
foot on the gas.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they're about to halt and do a bit more world building, but they've really sort of punched in there quite hard. So it's really nice. You're going to get onto that right after this, aren't you?
I absolutely am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping up with Marriage Toxin?
I haven't read this week's.
So oh man, you need to. It turns out that I only had read half of the chapter last week. So
really?
like I opened it up and I was like, I've missed a chapter, and I opened up the previous chapter. I was like, no, I haven't.
It's like a nice little surprise.
And then I like swiped a couple of pages in. I'm like, oh, I just stopped reading. Why did I do this? And yeah, it's also hitting the shonen battle manga accelerator as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. This guy.
Yeah, the crazy beast.
That's family. A lot of tongue happening.
Yeah, he's a concern. He is a concern.
Yeah, we don't talk about how much the art in Marriage Toxin is really, really nice.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's really well done. It's beautiful to read.
We've got a returning character in this chapter as well. The water user has come back.
Ah, nice.
From like chapter 1. Well, 3. It was like the first couple. But
by the way.
we got a face reveal as well, and it perfect. I love this series so much. It's so stupid.
You gotta love it though. That's because
it's so goofy and wacky.
Sense. And we love that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And then Chainsaw Man, but we'll talk about Chainsaw Man in a little bit. Just before we do talk about the spoilerific Chainsaw Man, I wanted to quickly talk about I wish it was sponsored, but non-sponsored Viz signature range that they've got over there. Because there's a couple of their titles that they've got over there that are getting anime adaptations this year. And I think they're going to be pretty spectacular. But they've also got some of the older classics. So it's the Viz signature range seems to be anything that isn't Shonen Jump gets thrown into this category of manga that are relatively popular, but are from like random magazines in Japan.
Incredibly popular. Alice in Borderland, Black Lagoon, Beastars, Battle Royale.
Fun fact, Alice in Borderland is the same mangaka as Zom 100.
Oh, cool. Because that's
same writer. Same writer. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Live action.
I believe so, actually. Yeah. They also do have some one-shots on here as well.
Children of the Whales. Oh, Crazy Fruit Truck.
Crazy Fruit Truck looks amazing.
That's on my list.
There's
of books to buy.
Dead Demons, Destruction is getting getting an anime adaptation this year, maybe next. Dorohedoro is pretty good.
Drifting Classrooms, man, that is a classic.
I have
Now,
not read.
no, you wouldn't have because it's from like the early 80s.
Oh,
It's like one of the original long running horror series. It's so weird. It's about a whole school, like whole school structure that gets shifted to an alternate dimension, and it turns into a sort of Lord of the Flies scenario where the teachers try to rule over the children, and lots of bad stuff happens, and the giant bugs start eating people. It's pretty.
cool.
It's like super intense, and children die a lot.
Interesting.
Fire Punch, Fist of the North Star, Gangster.
Drip
Yeah,
Drip is
the
actually I started sending you images from that one a little while ago.
yeah, I
It's
think you did.
it's a short run series, about 6 chapters, by the mangaka that does Beastars.
Ah, yeah, you did too.
You can see it now in the art
Yeah,
style.
yeah, that was a
Um,
pretty intense action. He had some
yeah.
really big action moments in that.
Oh no, I think you're thinking of the
Or was
Santa
there a
Claus
different one?
one.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, that
You
one's
threw
still
you threw a lot
ongoing.
of stuff at me.
I do usually. Yeah.
Camway, Golgo 13. Now there's a classic. Oh, when I was younger, watching the Golgo 13 animes were something else, because when you're a kid, 14, 15, seeing a cool assassin guy going around killing people in the most miraculous ways was very cool. And it was hard boiled, man.
Hard
That's
boiled.
real hard boiled
I
right there.
really need to read the rest of Goodnight Pun Pun.
I have people recommend that to me. Is it good?
Man, it's weird. The art is impeccable, except for Pun Pun. Pun Pun looks like this.
Looks like a penguin of
um,
sorts.
the thing with Pun Pun is that it's
Incredibly depressing, is what I've heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's also incredibly like well illustrated, except for Pun Pun. But that's how he
Yeah.
sees himself. So it's like a narrative reason.
Ah,
I've got the
cool.
first one. I didn't realize there was another 6. I actually thought it was a one shot and was like reading through. I'm like,
No, that
okay.
thing's massive. Those volumes, by the way, aren't little volumes.
No, they're
They're
super chunky.
they're huge. They're like
They're like
1,000-page
books like this
volumes.
big. Yeah.
One of our favorites, Hell's Paradise, is there.
Oh man, Hell's Paradise. Has
Junji
its
Ito.
anime got a date yet?
Not that I've heard. Man, I hope they treat that nice.
It's good if it gets similar treatment to what Chainsaw Man and like Jujutsu has gotten in terms of like its animation quality and its directorial
What was the studio
prowess.
looking after it?
Give me 1 second.
Do it. Do it. Put it in. Come on, Tab Boy. Let's go.
Excellent. Mr. Ellen wrote Hex Paradise by mistake.
Is it dangerous using your search engine for this?
Am I? Oh, whoops! I didn't realize I was still broadcasting.
Oh. You didn't type anime afterwards.
It is Mappa though.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope they got a very special team looking after it.
Yeah. So we had an official trailer in November, so maybe another 6 months ish. Oops.
Yeah, because it was a few months after they had announced.
It was. Man. Oh.
I say a few. It's probably maybe 6.
Yeah, it was 6+, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some really good like classics on here, as well as some one shots like Look Back.
Yeah. Monster. I got to get around to reading that.
Yeah, I've heard it's incredible.
20th Century Boys. Such a good series, man.
Ping Pong.
Pluto. I cannot recommend Pluto enough. That is such an exceptional series.
And it's
Rooster Fighter. Yeah, there's some really crazy looking stuff. Oh, Tech on Kingcrete. Man, have you watched the anime for that?
no.
Oh, man, if you love animation, it's astounding because it's an art piece. It's not like your stock standard anime. It is an exceptional piece of cinema. That's the wrong one.
Yeah, I was trying to remember
just looking.
who. I was trying to remember who this mangaka was because this looked really familiar.
Totoda. Come on.
No, that is not the right thing. Don't know.
Anime Planet. They're usually pretty good. Next one down.
I'm looking.
No. There. Right there.
Oh, it was the artist that did the
song.
Yeah.
Ah.
I thought there was something recently tying that to them. Yeah, so they were the illustrator for the latest Fujimoto one-shot.
That's interesting. I wonder what their tie is with Fujimoto.
Don't know. Might have been one of the assistants, maybe.
Oh yeah, it could have been. Vagabond. There's a
yeah. It's even got Ultraman. Like they've got some really cool older
and these are all titles. Yeah. What a wonderful.
So these ones aren't included in the Shonen Jump Plus subscriptions, but they are like the full physical stuff. Like that's where I got these ones.
Yeah. Something we did forget about in news.
Yes.
Viz's decision to up the cost. Yes, Jack, everything I perceive as being back in my day, I don't need to say it. I'm not there yet.
The Shonen Jump app has increased its price from, is it $2.99 to $3.99 now?
$4.99. So jump $2.
Yeah, I'm going off the American pricing.
Yeah. So that's a bit interesting that they would do that.
I mean, I feel the Jump Plus stuff is
gaining traction.
They've been adding a lot of content and filling up a lot of the back catalog and the vault as well. So it's not just the weekly stuff that you are getting. You are getting quite a substantial amount of digital manga to read through. So I do understand it from a business perspective, increasing the...
Yeah, but I'm starting to think maybe their contract's coming up soon. And Shueisha's going to think very much twice about having them distribute digitally.
Well, actually, now that you say that, there was a recent story about, I think it was Kodansha pulling all of their licenses. Give me a second.
No, that's right. I kind of sprung this on you. It just came out of my head because I saw the email for it today. I was just like, God damn it. Seriously, you too? After all the hikes in all the streaming services recently, it didn't surprise me too much. But at the same time, it's not like they're rolling out a lot of new content.
Yeah.
They're not, like you said, not like Plus, where they're, throwing a lot more new content. And then they've got all that whole webtoon style amateur side happening as well, which has got some really cool titles on there. If you ever get around to having to read through a few of those, they've been a lot of fun. Speaking of webtoon, how about that edgy new series I threw at you?
Which one was that?
Hexapixel. 1 second. Wait a
I think
second.
I might have missed you recommending that to me.
Did it? No, you wrote back and said it was super edgy.
Okay.
Maybe you didn't actually read it, you turd. Looked at the picture and just went, "Oh, that looks edgy."
Yeah, maybe I did.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah.
Was it hectopascal? It's called hectopascal. It's
Come on, man.
pretty
Let
crazy.
me finish researching one thing.
No, you keep doing that. You keep doing that. I'm going to quickly
Okay.
talk about hectopascal because it's a little bit of a sidestep from our usual stuff because we don't talk about Webtoon stuff very often. So it's a new series on Webtoon. I think it's only about 6 or 7 chapters in. Basically, we're looking at an MC who...
There's 27 chapters, Logan.
Shut up. I pay attention when I'm reading. It's hard to with Webtoon. It's just like scroll. Before you know it, you've gone through, 1,000 chapters.
I have read some really good Webtoons.
Yeah. We rave about, things like Shotgun Boy and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah,
man.
You forget that's a Webtoon.
Shotgun Boy and Sweet Home are so good.
Yeah, they're good stuff.
I'm just sad that it's over now. That's all.
Yeah. Did you finish your research?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, off you go then.
So yeah, Kodansha is ending its simul-publishing manga distribution from like Azuki, which was another manga service that you could read things on for free. I have a feeling what's happening here is that Kodansha is seeing what Viz has done with Shonen Jump and what Shueisha is doing with Manga Plus, and they're like, why are we letting Azuki do this when we can do it ourselves?
Yeah. And look, to be honest, these companies should be rolling together and just using Manga Plus.
Yeah.
I would be happy to pay $4.99 to Manga Plus if they, rolled out everyone. So, having a back catalogue of Kodansha, oh my God, so many good titles. Yeah. It would be, I wouldn't see the light of day for months. I'd just be reading constantly. But it would be really good to see them over here.
mean, yeah, you've got like you've got from Fairy Tail, Vinland Saga, Attack on Titan, Akira, Noragami, Sailor Moon, Cells at Work, Prison School, A Silent Voice, like and Alita, really Battle Angel. I mean, Prison School's fun.
Funny stuff.
It is a very fun series.
Oh, it's hilarious. And people who take that stuff too seriously, they just got to take a chill pill.
Oh, it is
sure,
so
it's dirty.
Ridiculous.
It's so filthy, but it's
Gear as well.
Yeah, all of great stuff.
Yeah. Because he's all published under Kodansha. So yeah, it'd be really cool if they brought out their own app with like back catalog and stuff.
Yeah, because they have a much bigger catalog of sign and stuff than Shueisha do. So it would be nice. I would really like it, guys, if they're listening.
They also have, I suppose it is that would be covered in understanding, wouldn't it? Never really considered like the more raunchier stuff, like not hentai level, but that just before, like that real ecchi stuff.
Yeah.
Could
like Berserk.
Be considered, yeah. No, it's not what I was thinking at all. But
Berserk's
anyway,
got like a ton of nudity in it.
Yeah, but it's brutal.
Also, an enormous amount of violence.
I was talking more like just like that pervy stuff.
Yeah. But, okay. Like Air Gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it gets really battle shonen towards the end, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. It does. It does push.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your warning for our new segment. Spoilers ahead. It's our old segment. We're just renaming it to give you a clear indicator. talking about Chainsaw Man now.
Spoilers.
Did you like that? I even sprung that on you. That was news to you
That was
too,
nice.
Logan.
That was new.
Yeah.
That was different. I liked it. Keep up the flavor.
But yeah, Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man, my
Man.
dude.
Chainsaw Man.
So
That should be
we left out
opening
on like
title.
the biggest cliffhanger last week. The
So
community just went completely nuts because everyone was like, "Oh, is Denji going to die?" And there were theories going around. We had theories last week. I don't remember what most of them are.
Yeah.
I think we were correct about one of them.
Denji's not going to die. That's stupid.
It would have been really ballsy.
It would have been hugely ballsy, but I think I think he knows his draw card.
Yeah.
And if he removes Denji, then the only goofy one he has is Asa, and
yeah,
it's just not good enough.
She's good, but she can't carry the series by herself.
No.
But can we just talk about the two very different cliffhangers that we got between last week and this week?
Yeah,
the flavor. Different. Oh my god. So
and the weird thing is the chapter didn't actually have that much happen in it.
It didn't what? Didn't have what?
Didn't have a lot of content. There was like not a lot of stuff happened.
No, and it was like a hard cut to the next day, and it just took a very dark turn very quickly.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't read it, and if you're still here, why? And for those that are, we're just going to recap over the last little bit of the chapter. What were your thoughts, man?
On the end of the last chapter, I got excited.
I got spooky. Like I was like,
I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, something really cool is gonna happen. And then my brain just dropped, and I'm just like, this is Fujimoto. Nothing's going to happen. He's just screwing with you, man. That's what he does. That's also the initial thought was, this is exciting. Something's gonna happen. But in a sense, something did happen, right?
Yeah.
There's two factors going on here, and a lot of theories being thrown around.
Are we talking about the start or the end?
The start.
Or both?
The start. Okay. We'll talk about the start first, and the fact that he wasn't turned into a spinal sword.
And that we got 2 whole pages of her just screaming Denji spinal cord sword and patting him on the head.
And then him responding with Asa spinal cord sword, and then walking away saying weird way of saying goodbye. That is such a Denji thing to do. He's such a
I mean, the only person that could have worked like with in that scenario is Denji, because of how socially inept he is.
Well, I don't know. I'm sort of giving him the benefit of the doubt. I feel like he knows something.
You reckon?
I feel like he knows something is up, which is why he sort of keeps going back to her and saying, let's hang out, let's hang out, let's hang out. You know, because they don't. He knows they don't get along.
You reckon there's he's vibing that kindred spirit sort of thing? Like he knows that she's struggling with something.
She's either struggling with something or she is involved with devils in some way. He would be able to sniff it from a mile away, surely enough. By now.
Yeah.
By now. Though he is a goof.
And like, there's so many different ways that we could, Fujimoto could spin this. Like, oh, she couldn't turn him into a weapon because Denji, blah, blah, blah. He's already a weapon. I don't know.
So, theories on this particular concept. So, this first part, why didn't he turn into a spinal sword? You go. What do you got?
Honestly, I had all these theories, and I'm just like, I don't actually know anymore. Fujimoto just decides whatever he wants.
He does. He does.
Um,
But it's always fun to guess right, isn't it?
it is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I have a feeling it could be because he is already a hybrid.
Okay.
So far, the only differentiating thing between him and other things we've seen being turned into a weapon is that he's not human.
Yeah. So this
That's
sort of coincides with one of my theories as well, which is it's just raw power. He's just way more powerful than she is.
yeah.
And there is no physical way that she can draw enough power to turn him into any sort of weapon.
Well, we don't really know how her power really works. Like it's ownership, but whose ownership? Us's or yours? And
Well,
who
it's Asa's.
who really dictates? Oh, yeah.
Because Asa
well, no,
bought
because
she bought
it's
the
all
aquarium.
It's all about the guilt. Well, yeah, because Yoru was gone.
Yeah. The attachment. She needs an attachment to the item.
She's definitely already got an attachment to Denji, though. So
yes, but this comes to my next theory, right? This second part.
Oh, actually,
the War Devil isn't just it hasn't taken over Asa, and because of that, shares that feeling.
I was actually
guilt.
I just kind of also twigged onto something that kind of ties into what you were about to say, I think.
So the War Devil can't turn Denji into a sword because they don't want to. Because they got the same feelings as Asa.
she's in love with him as well, like Asa is. Yeah.
And I feel like that's definitely something that would be better to explore further down the track than just basic world building. You know, he's more powerful, or he's already a weapon. I think feelings are a much better, story point for that because it's a very critical moment. Let's face it, that was a very critical moment for the story and the characters. So,
and now I'm wondering, after that very tense, dark, ominous air, if next chapter, which we're not getting next week, by the way, we're back to fortnightly. I wonder if we go back to Denji's house and he's hyped it up so much that, and because of everything that's been going on, we are also in this mind of the Control Devil is going to be horrible. What if Naota is just a terrible tyrant toddler, and just has Denji completely strung out?
Yeah. I feel like he's gonna be more of a big brother, single dad.
Yeah.
Than we
almost
realize.
Those all those little heartwarming stuff that you see, like the sweetness and honey. They generally have that dad character or older brother and the very chibi little lolly girl.
Yeah, and I feel like that's we're gonna get that kind of vibe happening.
Sweetness and lightning. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know. There's quite a few of them out there.
Yeah,
there's quite a few of them out there, and they're always wholesome and fun. And
next minute, it turns out that something's really bad with Naota.
She's probably gonna have a bad attitude.
Oh,
being half raised by Denji, you're gonna have a bad attitude, right?
I mean, the other thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit about the chapter was how very brief we talked about Fami with Yoru.
Yeah.
And she just sweeps it under the rug. I was like, no.
Ma.
Give me more.
Yeah. And there's a lot of speculation going on there.
Yeah.
All those theories going on with her and Yoshida.
Oh, and then we've got Yoshida, who is just a mystery wrapped in an enigma. Oh, man.
And has been since. And look, I'll be honest, like most people, I cannot remember him from the first part.
I remembered him just appearance wise, like, hey, that guy looks familiar.
Yeah,
And that
he
was about
just
it.
sort of glossed past him. Like he was a character that popped up for like, I think it was 15 to 20 chapters all up he was in.
Barely. Barely.
Yeah, and when I say in, I mean he
Yeah.
might have been on like 3 pages in that chapter.
Mm.
He was very, very, small role, but apparently critical role.
Well,
Or maybe
yeah,
he just
we
went back through all the chapters and just went, I'm going to use this
I
character.
don't know, man. After watching that video that I sent you through today, the Hiding in Private anime YouTube channel,
I feel
a
like
lot
that.
of a lot of the
Yeah,
stuff he brought to attention were like that we glossed over or sat there thinking that's kind of weird at the time, and just still haven't gotten an explanation for. Like,
yeah,
how does he know so much? Who is the organization he's working for, and how were they tied into with Makima? How are they tied in with Kishibe currently? And does he actually have the octopus devil?
yeah. Which he doesn't, because who's scared of octopus?
I mean,
Octopi.
they're pretty
They're
crafty.
cute. They're cute as hell, though.
Um,
I don't
the
know.
in the video there was as he was talking about it and mentioning like, oh, it can't just be the octopus devil. I was like going through my mind brain, going through like what other potential scary octopus thing. Oh, it's Cthulhu, isn't it? He's got the Cthulhu devil, and I wonder whether or not it's just going to be more like the cosmic horror devil, whether or not we'll actually fully delve into Lovecraftian mythos, because I don't
I don't know.
necessarily see it fitting with everything else. Like, it's
It's a cool
very,
theory.
yeah, it's a cool theory. It's very more like Catholic and that sort of spectrum of like religion sort of
Yeah.
dealios.
Well,
Not
it delves very heavily into religion a lot more so than what Chainsaw Man has, because it you know it says primal fears.
yeah.
It's based on the basic fears of humanity. And
I like
yes,
the
sure,
idea that he's somehow tied up with death, like the Death Horseman or the Death
that was
Devil.
really. I like the fact that his name is basically, "Hey,
Hey.
I'm death." That I wasn't aware of, and the fact that that's what it is, and
Yeah.
he's already sort of goaded him to eat the death devil.
Yeah.
Essentially,
There,
that is the part that I
there
found
is
most interesting, is when he spoke about that.
so much around Yoshida that that we've barely got any characters for part two. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I know. We're
two
micro
hands.
analyzing.
But it feels a lot more confined in part two.
It feels more emotional.
Mm. It doesn't, the scope doesn't feel as big anymore. It feels more like it feels like a heartwarming rom-com with devils thrown in.
That's what he wants, though. He wants you to get attached to all these characters because he's going to kill them in 10 chapters.
uh, I do like how much of a part the goofy head of the chainsaw hunters.
He
I
is
can't remember what
such.
his name is. He's a goof though.
Yeah, he's a goof, and I can guarantee you everybody hates him, and he's going to survive all the way to the end.
I hope
I
that
just got a feeling.
I hope Kerbeni's sibling survives to the end. That little window licker.
She's a weird one, right? I mean, Corbeni was weird, but she's like.
Well, is it a girl? Is because apparently like Kerbeni has
Several siblings.
older because she's in the middle, but towards the younger end. And I think she's got younger brothers and sisters and older brothers and sisters. It's a big family, and I hope we get to see her again because she's a dum dum.
Spin off, spin off, spin off. Just get the whole family life of Kobeni.
Yeah,
it'd be great.
I think that's pretty much everything for this last week, though. It's not really
pretty light on.
much.
Pretty light on. But you know, that's okay. Let them have a break.
We're in that holiday period. I believe everything's coming
all those
back.
juicy chapters.
When's everything coming back again?
Next week, I guess.
Does it tell us on this on the web?
I'm gonna say the 23rd.
Yeah, it is in 5 days.
Okay, well that's probably a little
excessive. It is. No.
22nd. Yeah.
We're back to normal scheduling.
Yeah. Well, I hope they're all fresh-faced and ready to go.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready. Give me some more manga. I'm on holidays. I want to read it all.
I wish I was.
Alrighty, guys. That will wrap up episode 28 of Read This Way. Join us again next week at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for our lovely faces. Make sure to like the video. It does help us out a ton. Share us with your friends and family if they read and watch manga and whatever social groups you're in, I guess. And leave us a comment.
Yeah, whatever.
Chat. Tell us what you want us to read and talk about on the next week's episode.
Yeah,
we'll be looking.
I want to read some good BL content. Come on,
we'll look in the comment section later. Yeah. Banana Fish. Read Banana Fish.
Yeah, I've heard that's pretty good.
I've heard that's pretty good, actually. I haven't read it myself. Apparently, it's hard-boiled, older sort of. BL.
You know I love my hard-boiled.
I think it's hard-boiled.
It looks hard-boiled.
I think I'm talking at my ass again. Anyway, we'll see you next week on episode 29 of Read This Way.